All right, I'm in the river valley in Edmonton, and I'm in between Kinsman and Emily Murphy. I'm heading west towards Emily Murphy and Horilac. This is a really nice trail. I'm sure you're familiar with it if you go in the river valley. Anyways, I want to give a few of my comments on the river valley in general. The reason I stopped at this particular location is because, as you can see, we have some debris, some garbage on the ground. We have a bag, we have a plastic cup, a pair of underwear, and cigarettes. And that's just what I can see here. So the issue, of course, is that, hey, the river valley is only as clean as we want it to be. And I think it's very important to have a clean river valley. And if you really look for problems, you can find them. You can find shopping carts, you can find encampments, you can find a lot of debris. So that's one issue. I think that the narrative around the river valley, especially from our politicians, needs to acknowledge the garbage. And if there is a will to remove all the garbage, maybe I sound idealistic, but if there is that will, then it can be removed. But right now the status quo is, well, it's just not a focal point of conversation. I wouldn't say it's a severe out of control issue, but at the same time, I don't know, it is kind of out of control. So I'd say it's I think it's more serious than people want to admit. Okay, putting that issue aside, I just want to talk about my thoughts in general about the river valley, some changes I've noticed, and what I might like to see change. Okay, so this particular trail is the surface. This is actually, it's not dirt. There's it's almost like asphalt or hard packed gravel on this section. And it didn't always used to be like this. Until a number of years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago, this used to be hard packed dirt. And I have a strong preference for that, especially because as someone who likes to run on these trails, it's much healthier, better on your joints to run on a softer surface. I suspect the change was made to a hard packed gravel for two reasons. One, the river does rise on occasion, and it can cause this trail to become very muddy. Not for long periods, but maybe for a week or so, once a year or so. So I suspect the hard packed gravel was made so that would be less of an issue, so that it would be less muddy. I also suspect the hard packed gravel was implemented to be more accommodating to cyclists. These are my personal opinions, but I think the key in the river valley is to keep it as natural as possible. So I would be in favor of, just in general, less concrete, less asphalt, more in its natural state. Finally, one idea that I've had it for a long time. Maybe it'll become a reality one day, I don't know. But because we have this massive river valley system in Edmonton, which is unique to our city, you can go from here where I am, near the Kinsman Sports Center, all the way to Horilac, into Snow Valley, and into Terwilliger. Alternatively, you can go east towards McNally and the Dawson Bridge, and then past the Capilano Bridge and into Gold Bar. However, you cannot do this all on a dirt or wood chip trail. For parts of it you can, but there's no exclusive trail which is all dirt. And it would be nice if you could go from one section of the city to the other all on a special trail. Maybe that is a goal for the future. Those are my thoughts. Again, just to summarize, the river valley has to be made clean. If you look for it, you'll notice there's a lot of garbage, and that unfortunately has become the status quo. Also, there have been changes. There's a lot more gravel and hard-packed gravel and asphalt in the river valley. I don't think that's good. I think we need to just keep it in its natural state as much as possible. And then finally, because again, remember, this is for wildlife. This is for coyotes. It's not just for humans. It's for the wildlife, like coyotes, rabbits, garter snakes, even moose. I've seen a moose only once, but I saw a moose near Horilac last year. And then finally, as I was saying, it would be nice to have a trail that was exclusively dirt and primarily for walkers and joggers, runners. I'm not against cyclists per se. I am a cyclist, or I have been a cyclist myself, but I think there's been too much of a focus in this city on bike culture, and the reality is that only represents one in a very small segment of the population. I would argue that most people who use the river valley use it to walk, as I'm doing right now, just walking. Most people don't cycle. Most people walk in the river valley. So we have to remember that, and we have to preserve the river valley and keep it as natural as possible.